Hello, cold brew lovers. I'm sure you have been missing me. I have been missing making cold brew. Today, I am going to recreate my most popular video on this channel, which is creating 5 classic cold brew recipes. It has now been viewed over 3 million times. So once again, thank you for your support. And if you can, try and make this video as popular as the previous one. This time, I'm going to make exactly the same, except with a little bit of a twist. I am going to change the milk. Stay tuned until the end of this video. But before we continue, like, comment, share, and subscribe. What is cold brew? Well, it is the easiest way to make your coffee, and it is also getting so popular these days. You can start a business just making cold brew coffee, serving them in your shops, a pop-up cafe, or even bottling them. You can also cut costs if you make this coffee at home. If you buy them out at the shops, then it would be quite expensive. So imagine having cold brew coffee in the shops every day when you can make them. They are so easy to make, and you don't need so much gadgets to make a cold brew. What you need, literally what you see in front of me. You need a pitcher, you need your coffee beans, you need a tea stock strainer. This is a coffee strainer, and you also need your milk. So really, that's all. For the proportion that I use for my cold brew, I use the proportion of 1:10. Now, the proportion between the coffee and the water depends on how strong your coffee is or how strong you'd like your coffee to be. This time, I am using a strong coffee. This is from Vietnam. I'm sure many of you would know this brand. It's called Coffee. Quite strong. It's a blend of Robusta and Arabica. And then, I use 100 grams of this to 1 liter of water. Put them in a jug. You can stir or not, and then keep them refrigerated for at least 12 hours or overnight. The next day, all you have to do is to strain the coffee, and we have our cold brew right here. We get a yield of 900 milliliters, not quite 900, nearly 900. So this is the yield. So when you are costing, you must factor in whatever is gone from the brewing process. I did say that I'm going to make a little bit of a twist this time, so I'm going to change my milk. These days, the less sweet, the better. But we also like them to be creamy and also tasty. The moment you take a sip, you feel like, wow, this is exactly what I'm looking for. So what I'm going to use will be a combination of my milk. This time, I'm going to use a liquid non-dairy creamer. So this one is from the US, so I'm sure if you're from the US, you can find these. These are also available in Thailand and also in Asia. But I'm sure there are other brands like even Coffee Mate, but make sure it is the non-dairy creamer liquid form. Okay, so this is a little bit more creamy than your regular evaporated milk. So what I have here is 60 ml of my sweetened condensed milk, and I also have 120 ml of my non-dairy creamer in liquid form. And I'm going to combine them together, stir. I'm going to put this aside, and now we are ready to start making our drinks. First drink, we are going to make a simple cold brew black coffee or Americano. So I'm using here a 16-ounce cup or 500 milliliters. Fill it with ice, water, and then I'm going to use the same amount of my cold brew, which is 90 ml or 3 ounces. So for those that like their coffee black, this is your cold brew Americano. For those that like their coffee a bit milky, this is your cold brew latte. Now, because this is cold brew, it will not be as strong as your espresso-based drinks. So the proportion of the cold brew to milk should be more. That means I'm going to use a lot more cold brew coffee here. So here I'm going to use 4 ounces or 120 ml of my cold brew, and then add a little bit of milk. So it's kind of like the milk tea of coffee, where you have more tea than milk. So this time we're also having more coffee than milk. So here I'm going to add about 60 ml of my creamy milk syrup. Fill your cup with ice. Very simple cold brew latte. On to our third drink. vanilla latte. For this, I'm going to use the same amount of my cold brew. I'm going to use 4 ounces because I have a very strong blend of coffee here. So I'm going to add the flavor here, which is vanilla. And for my milk syrup, I need to reduce the amount because it's going to be the same amount as what I did for my latte, except this time I'm going to add vanilla. Therefore, I'm going to just make this 45 ml. And to bring it up to 60, I'm going to add 2 pumps or 15 ml of my vanilla syrup. Glass full of ice. Pour the cold brew coffee over. And again, very simple. This is cold brew vanilla latte. 3rd drink down, onto our 4th drink, which is also another very popular blend, and it is cold brew mocha. For those that love their coffee with chocolate, this is the drink for you. For this, we are going to use the same amount of cold brew, which is 120 milliliters. 30 ml of my milk syrup, creamy milk, and then I'm going to add chocolate. Chocolate, this time I am going to use a commercial chocolate syrup. 30 ml of chocolate syrup here. Cold brew. And this time I'm going to pour my chocolate syrup first. And stir. Creamy milk syrup. 4th drink down, cold brew mocha. The final drink, it is going to be cold brew brown sugar latte. I'm going to use exactly the same amount of my cold brew, 120 ml. But this time I'm going to mix my milk syrup with my cold brew. So I need 45 ml of my milk syrup. Well, I actually made exactly the amount that I need for my 5 drinks today. So I'm going to mix it right with the cold brew. It is looking really, really dark. I like the colors of my cold brew coffee here. So once again, it really depends on your coffee beans. If your coffee beans not strong, if you're using a lighter roast, I would suggest that you modify the proportion from 1:10 to say 1:8 or even 1:5. Brown sugar syrup. So this would be about 15 ml. Brown sugar is not really that sweet, but it gives you that additional flavor, which is, I would say, on the smoky. Cold brew with milk. Our final drink, cold brew brown sugar latte. 5 cold brew recipes. They're not that difficult to make. Honestly, you can make this at home and you can start a business with this, okay? Time for the moment of truth. It is a tasting. So let me try the first one, which is my cold brew black coffee. Very smoky. This is a very strong coffee, but I absolutely love it. For those that like their coffee black, they don't usually put sugar in it, so go easy on sugar, okay? Now my latte. Wow. That creamy milk is a definite upgrade. You must give this a try. Vanilla latte. Absolutely delicious. Mocha. Chocolatey and chocolate. So it is, I would call it almost a double chocolate cold brew because my coffee has got a chocolatey flavor in it. So adding chocolate, it just gave it more chocolate. And finally, my brown sugar latte. That addition of the brown sugar gives it another flavor. So it's not quite chocolatey. It's just that brown sugar taste, which is complementing my coffee. There you go, 5 delicious cold brew recipes that you can make at home, you can start a business with, and if you'd like to bottle them, please do check out my other video tutorials on how to bottle cold brew coffee. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll see you again next time. Thank you for watching. Ciao for now.